What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the Nioh 2 Alpha. So, went ahead and, that's nice. Someone I just picked up is already getting his ass beat. Listen, you are getting in the way. But anyway, went ahead and switched back to the offensive Living Spirit and then put on some water paper because, basically, the gist of this fight is there's 3 different pillars that have water buckets. If you can get them to break the pillars, you can get Discord on them. If you can't, then you can't. So, anyway, it's a lot easier to just put on water paper and do it that way. So, put on some water paper. That also works. And now we got Discord on. Fucking that goddamn aura. Do your bullshit tornado thing. I didn't get to really showcase the water trick that well, but it's one of the tricky things. If you summon somebody, you can't really get it, but basically there's a pillar here, a pillar there, and then that pillar all have water. This one doesn't have water, but, you know, you did see for a split second there how dropping the water on them allows you to just get up Discord and then just go to town from there and get what's essentially a grapple attack on them. Wearing heavier armor also helps. I want to say the first time I beat this guy, I was using the fire starter set, which had, like, each piece of it had fire resist on it, and so that makes a pretty significant impact on that fight as well. And as for his tornado thing, you can just throw your axe at it and stop it. So, to the world map, this is still a hub-based game, as you have no doubt noticed. Good old Enera. It's actually a really, really freaking useful soul core. Equipment drop. Too heavy by you. You cost 7 and you cost 7 too, so well, actually I'm gonna end up changing my spirit anyway, so it doesn't matter. So a couple things have changed on the world map. We obviously still have our starting point. This is the exact same as before. You can go in and now change your appearance from here, but storehouse, equipment sets, illustrations, you can look in depth at the different guardian spirits you get and whatnot, which is kind of cool. Hut and deliveries we can't use yet. Shrine, as you would expect, is the shrine. Same exact shit you would expect here. No. I'll get that Omeo capacity up slightly. We'll change back to Aminomatori, and then For the second boss, you really have to have Enera Soul Core on. I can put on something with an attunement cost of 6. Let's go Dweller, I guess. Dweller or Gaki. Charge in the Dark Realm, life drain from your high skill and gold. This is grapple ninjutsu hit. Alright, let's go with the gun. Yeah, it's fine. Blacksmith is basically the same. Got everything similar to before: familiarity, soul matching, forging, inheritance, how you're able to, you know, move stuff between weapons. So they haven't changed that up at all. We don't have the ability to reforge in the alpha, which is kind of weird. I figured they would have wanted to show that off if there were particular changes. Whether or not we can now do things, like personally, one of the things I'm really hoping for is the ability to reforge our equipment, not our equipment, our these things right here, our accessories, because we couldn't do that previously, and they always just felt like, you know, whatever random piece of gear you get, that's what you got to roll with, which always kind of sucked a little bit. Better and heavier. Here we're good. There. It's a solid upgrade. This one's even better, but I'm gonna need strength and stamina. I'll get that pretty fast in the next mission. Do I have new axes? I do not. Nothing, at least at a higher level. Some other stuff that's different on the world map now. The dojo, you can go in depth to look at the brute, feral, and phantom yokai shift controls, which you know, this seems like a good time to do that, since I kind of want to showcase these with the boss down and to talk about some of the other new things before we start the new mission. So let's go in and take a look at this stuff. So it talks about using your stuff with the yokai force. Shift. Of course, this is the brute shift. Pretty straightforward. And then in yokai shift, do your guardian spirit ability, which so far they all seem to be AoE based. You know, there's a lightning, there's a fire, there's a water. Kind of do the same thing, just different elements. The unique grapples show those. Brute grapple, pretty, I mean, kind of what you would expect for a brute type class. You know, it's just big and you smash. Brute also has a built-in parry you can use. Come down here so the camera angle is not as wonky. It's kind of similar to the block we used to do with the Odachi, where it's the shove-off technique. See how we're pushing at it, but it's just not quite connecting. There we go. And of course, the last thing, ending your yokai shift. So just for shits and giggles, we're going to go through all three of these. I don't know if there's going to be more than this. I really, really hope there is. To be fair, Living Weapon was always kind of lackluster. I mean, it quite literally just took your existing weapon moveset, but kept you in mid-stance and just buffed it. So, you know, nothing to really write home about there. But I really hope there's more than just Brute, Feral, Phantom. I mean, this is obviously what we have available for the alpha, and there is always a high chance that, you know, it's, hey, it's alpha, so they're, you know, not putting all their cards on the table. And if each new Guardian Spirit does have its own form, I think that's going to be really, really awesome. But I can't help but feeling like there are three forms. There is the Brute, there is Feral, and there is Phantom. I really, really hope I'm wrong on that, but it's like a gut feeling I got. This is the maximum anime form. That's actually what it's called. Max anime form does not have a counterattack, but it does have probably one of the bliss down attacks. So this is the main thing with Feral. You can dodge while doing quick attacks, and then as you dodge, you can get that free attack in. So it's, like I said, this is a very, very fast-paced style of fighting. Which, between the three forms, I really like Phantom, but more than likely I think I'll end up spending a lot of my time playing as Feral. It's just, you know, the speed of attacks that Feral has and the ability to instantly just iframe dodge in the middle of your attack animation and then attack while you're doing that dodge, I feel like that'll be very beneficial in terms of maintaining how long your yokai shift stays active. So I think that's going to be a really potent choice. I really hope there's more than 3. Really hope it's just, you know, hey, it's alpha, here's 3 that we want to show off, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Which we still do not have a release date for the fully release of Nioh 2. Based on what we know from like previous release cycles and the fact that this is an alpha test and it's being done in May, I would fully anticipate this being a 2020 release. If you think about it, they did the open beta test that they did with Nioh 1 was in August, I believe it was August 2016, and then they did the launch in February 2017. Agewani! Yeah, this is like your ranged one. Kind of reminds me of Mothman a little bit. So it's pretty cool. Then here's our big thing. As I mentioned, you can aim and teleport while performing a quick attack or strong attack. You can do the opposite attack, and it's basically just going to allow us to quickly dash back and forth as we fight the enemy. Of course, if we hit it with a ranged attack, we can do that. But our quick attacks are... so for example, here, let me get this guy a little closer. We can do the charged. We died before we could. But the idea is you can hit him with that and then quickly hit your light attack to just teleport onto him. So it's very high mobility, but more of like a mage-esque style of mobility where you're dashing and teleporting around versus the dashes that we have with Feral. A couple other things on the map. Obviously, before the map was very much kind of static. You know, nothing really changed. You can see the maps had some animation added in. Very much kind of looks alive. You can see as you scroll over, things light up. And then there are secrets on the map. Oh. Some Hamiyama arrows. Yeah, just saw it. Very sensitive, trying to... some sacred water. It's all up in the mountains. I need to decrease the mouse sensitivity on the damn map. Small spirit stones. I mean, this is obviously the first zone, so I expect most of the stuff we're going to find is not going to be particularly amazing. As I mentioned, as you can see, you can still just do co-op. You can still just do random co-op. The game still does have PvP, though I imagine it'll be just as much of a shit show as it has always been. We still have the training ground mission. Go through and just learn everything. And then, of course, after we get through the Viper Sanctum, we'll then have a Twilight mission unlocked. So, I know this one was short, but really wanted to kind of showcase those different forms. We're going to wrap this one up. Next two parts, we'll be looking at the Viper Sanctum. It's a good bit shorter than how long Beastborn of Smoke and Flames was. So we'll knock out Viper Sanctum, and then, of course, we will knock out the Twilight mission as well. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys with more then.